You hear this all the time, right? The skilled trade shortage. It's always talked about like it's this huge looming crisis. But what if that's the completely wrong way to look at it? Today, we're going to flip that script. We're going to look at this shortage for what it really is for the next generation, a full-blown gold rush. Let's break down why.
Okay, so before we get to the opportunity, we really need to understand who we're talking about here. These folks are the true unsung heroes of American manufacturing. They're the professionals who form the absolute foundation of our entire industrial economy.
So, meet the tool and die maker. That phrase, the manufacturers of manufacturing, that is not an exaggeration. Seriously, think about it. Every single thing that's mass-produced, from the body panels on a Ford F-150 to the tiny parts in a medical device, it all starts with a custom tool, a mold, or a die. These craftsmen create the very things that make modern production possible. They're the first and most critical link in the entire chain.
Now, I know that's a dramatic question, but here's the thing. It's not some hypothetical. It's the very future we are staring down right now. And it's the key to understanding the massive, massive opportunity that we're going to talk about today.
This isn't some problem for our grandkids to solve. This is about hard numbers right now and a clock that is ticking louder every single day. So let's dive into the data that really defines this so-called crisis.
54.4. What's that? Well, that's the average age of a tool and die maker in the United States today. Now, to put that in perspective, that's more than a decade older than the average American worker. This isn't just an aging workforce, folks. This is a workforce standing right at the retirement gate.
And if that last number didn't grab you, this one will. A staggering 90%, 90, of the entire tool and die workforce is over the age of 40. I mean, let that sink in. 9 out of every 10 of these critical experts are much, much closer to the end of their careers than the beginning.
So with tens of thousands of these masters about to hang it up, how many people are we training to replace them? You ready for this? Just 1,187. That's it. That's the total number of registered apprentices in the entire country. We've got a tidal wave of retirements coming, and we're trying to hold it back with a teaspoon.
And this chart, wow, this just lays it all out visually. You see, a healthy workforce should look like a pyramid, right? A wide base of young talent supporting the experienced folks at the top. This is an inverted pyramid. It's balanced on a tiny little 2% base of workers under 30. There's no next generation in the pipeline. We have a missing generation.
Let's just boil this down to a single ratio that is just mind-blowing. For every 46 masters on the job today, there's only one registered apprentice training to take their place. You know what that means? It means the vast majority of shops have no pipeline for talent. When their top guy retires, all that irreplaceable hard-won knowledge just walks right out the door, forever.
Now, this isn't going to be like flipping a switch. It's going to be a wave that's building right now and is going to crash over the American economy in stages. So let's take a look at the timeline.
This slide shows exactly how that wave is going to hit. By 2030, we enter what's called a knowledge crisis. That's when the first big group of masters retires, taking decades of experience with them. Then, just 5 years later, by 2035, that wave crests. It becomes a structural rupture, with over half of the entire workforce gone. And by 2040, the turnover is complete. The old guard is gone, leaving behind an empty bench.
Okay, that sounds incredibly dire, I get it. But here's the pivot. This is where we flip the script. For anyone who has these skills, or anyone smart enough to go get them, this crisis is the single greatest career opportunity in a generation. Why? Because a shortage of talent always creates a war for talent.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. Look at this quote. This is the head of a major industry association, publicly begging his members to stop poaching each other's employees. So let me ask you, when that's happening, who has all the power? The employee, the person with the skills. This is a 5-alarm fire bell signaling desperation, and it's the starting gun for massive wage increases.
And look, the money is already significant. A tool and die maker's median wage is already thousands of dollars higher than a general machinist's. But look at the top end. The top 10% are already pulling in close to $90,000 a year. And given the demographic cliff we just looked at, that number is about to go ballistic.
It really all boils down to simple economics 101. The supply of skilled toolmakers is about to fall off a cliff. Meanwhile, demand is only going up. So what happens? That skill set becomes incredibly valuable.
You're not going to be looking for a job, jobs will be fighting over you. That, my friends, is the definition of career security.
Now, if you're picturing some dark, dirty, old-school machine shop, you need to hit the delete button on that mental image. Because the future of this trade, the future you'd be walking into, is pure, unadulterated high-tech.
This is what the modern workflow looks like. The new toolmaker is a technologist. You're designing in 3D CAD software. You're simulating with digital twins before any metal gets cut. You're managing automated robotic cells. You're mastering additive manufacturing, 3D printing metal. It's way less about turning handles and way more about programming the future of how things are made.
And guess what? The job titles are changing to reflect this new reality. Tool and die maker is becoming manufacturing technologist or tooling systems engineer. These are engineering-level roles that take brains, technical savvy, and some serious problem-solving skills.
So we end right back where we started. Is this a crisis for American manufacturing? Oh, absolutely. It's a huge problem. But for anyone with the vision to see what's happening, it's also one of the greatest career opportunities in the entire country. The gold rush is on. The only question is, who's going to be smart enough to grab a shovel?